What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Underground Stars Season 4, and today I am here with...
Tony, or what the fuck Tony, or however you want to say it, or call me.
Or you can, they can say it by... They can spell it out, the TXNY.
Yes, sir.
It's... I used to do that. I used to have, on my old Twitter, like, before I, like, turned it into, like, a whole, producer thing. The way it was my last name, which is ARGOTE, but instead of the O, I had an X.
Oh,
so it was like
okay.
ARGXTE.
Okay, all right.
So like every time I see someone with like an X in there, I'm like, oh, I can't because it's very common.
Yeah.
But I can't be like, oh, he's just copied everybody else because I'm like, oh, I did that too.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
For real. But what's going on, man? How's everything? How's your year been? It's December 1st. It's almost,
fucking been
end of the year.
Really something else, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I just literally started producing right when COVID really started. Well, to preface this, in 2018, I downloaded FL Studio, and I was contemplating making beats, and I almost did, but the whole, like... just the logistics of it and just how everything worked and just pressing buttons and shit. I got nervous and I was just like, man, fuck this, I'm not doing it. But then 2020 rolled around and I was kind of thinking about it again, and I'll get to this later about what really, pushed me to start making beats. 2020 hit and I was like, in February, I was just kind of like, okay, I could do this, because I just kind of started just teaching myself how to do it, really.
Mm-hmm.
But when COVID happened and when everything really started, hitting the fan, I was like, all right, let's do this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like... that's a lot. Like a lot of people I've talked to is like, yeah, during like the whole shutdown, that's when I really started putting in all the work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's weird. Out. It's weird how much, how big of a difference having that whole free time is.
No,
just like,
for real.
Wake up, beats.
In real life, I barely have free time like that. But.
Yeah. And I feel like it must be hard for you because during that whole thing, you probably had a ton of free time, right?
Kind of. Like,
more
I
than
still
like
had,
now?
Like, school and shit to do. Like, I still had school and shit, like, online classes, but pretty much, like, those were easy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm going to just make a beat pretty much every night.
Yeah.
And it kind of picked up from there.
Yeah. Is that how, like, it is now, or is it more, like, every other night or, like, every week?
To be honest, I mean, I made a beat on Monday.
Oh, let's go.
So I always make time for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always want to make time for it. But this is something, like, this is not something I just can't, like, I can just put off.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's same with me. Like, I feel like it just feels weird not making something.
Yeah, especially when creative block
mm-hmm.
really kicks in, or like beat block, or whatever, and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? I don't know what I want to make.
Yeah.
But that's why you just gotta listen to music all the time, in my opinion, because you never know what you're gonna hear that really just like makes you just go, oh my god, like I have to go to my computer right now and just start
mm-hmm.
cooking up.
Oh, definitely. And do you kind of like have a go-to of something you listen to whenever you're kind of like blocked creatively?
That's the thing, bro. Like, I'll go back and listen to like my beats pretty much all the time, or I'll go listen to other beats from like other producers that I really like,
mm-hmm.
like especially like underground like producers on like YouTube that you don't even really know about, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Their beats, some of the beats I've heard from them are fucking unreal. It's just, you'd be surprised, like, the stuff you would hear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I always try to make an effort of trying to study that sound and, possibly work with them in the future, put them on. Because that's one of the things I really like to do. And that's what I want to do with my brand, is to help put people on.
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like that's kind of also like the job of a producer is, yeah, not just make the beats, but you kind of also like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Producers are like better A&Rs than actual A&Rs.
Mm-hmm.
Because most A&Rs, they'll just like, they'll dick ride, and they'll just be like, yeah, this is like amazing stuff, like this is like amazing, but it's like they don't really get it. They don't really get like the sound selection. They don't understand why it works.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're more like they're, oh, what's it called? They see the final product. They don't see the whole process.
They don't see the hours that go into how this sound was built.
Yeah.
And why it's special. Like why it's important to the person that made it.
Yeah. Before we go any further, if I cut you off, my bad, because I'm trying. It's weird, like not seeing the face, not seeing like the
mask.
whole.
I know.
Yeah. I know. So like sometimes like I whenever like we have other people, yeah, like I can't read. Okay, like I'm like, okay, his lips are like closed, and it's kind of like he's taking a breath. I don't know if I jump in or if he's gonna. So if I cut you off right now, I'm 100% not meaning to.
You're good. You're good.
I know. I'll just I'll raise my hand whenever I have something to say.
Right.
But speaking of the mask, I know we talked about it a little bit just like 10 minutes ago. But
yeah,
tell us about it. What is the whole thought process? What's the future of it? What's the whole everything?
Damn, you got me on this one. The mask, in my opinion, it's just a branding thing. Like I'm not trying to be like super deep with it. I just think it's just part of the brand. Like how Daft Punk always had the helmets and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Look, I mean, they're fucking superstars, bro. Like
true.
As long as as long as you can sell the image, you're untouchable. Mm-hmm. Like everybody will love it. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it looks like the silliest thing on earth. I mean, look at MF Doom, bro. He always wore a mask, always stayed in character, and people loved him. Even though, he's unfortunately he's no longer with us, but he was, committed to that character. I don't even know if you could call it that.
I guess like alter ego.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not like it. Yeah, I feel like you could say character, but I feel like it's more, attached.
Double life type shit. Yeah.
But no, yeah, that's what I know. Especially like a lot of people might like disagree because they're like, oh, you need to have like a face. You need to show your face. You got to do this.
Yeah, I really don't like that. I don't like the pressure of producers telling other young aspiring producers that you have to show your face or they're not gonna, progress or climb up to the top. Because I mean, like look at somebody like Richie Souf. Mm-hmm. He's still never showed his face, doesn't wear a mask, and he has worked with some of the biggest artists out right now.
Yeah,
like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You just got to get creative with it.
I feel like the thing is like I agree you have to have like a face. I don't like the word they use as face, but you need to have something to like they see it. Oh, that's him. Oh, this is him. Like
exactly. So this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Exactly. Like you said, Daft Punk. You saw their helmets. You're like, that's Daft Punk.
Exactly.
The Marshmallow helmet. You see that? Oh, that's Marshmallow.
Deadmau5. That's another one.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention him.
Like you don't see their facial features, but their image is still you still call it their face. I guess it's just I feel like that the word face in that context is what people take out of context.
Oh, definitely.
Because I think, I got to show my real face. No, you just need to have an image.
Not trying to get. I'm not worried about getting left in the dust because I have a face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, bro.
Yeah.
Get real.
It's a lot. It's just different for everybody. But I mean, at the same time, it's all about branding. It's how well you can brand yourself with what you put out there.
And it's definitely also about like what you've grown up being influenced by.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I think that's also one of the important factors into how to brand yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, speaking of, what you kind of grew up on, what's kind of, I guess, what did you kind of grow up like inspiration wise, sonically wise? Like, what kind of built you, whatever, however you are right now?
Like, do you mean just like music or just in general?
In general, both, I guess.
I grew up watching a lot of superheroes and shit like that. Like, I was just a big nerd when I was a kid. I still am to an extent. But when it would come to music, I would listen to. I grew up with a lot of classic rock. Like, I would always listen to like music in the car with my family, and I remember when I was a kid, I was probably about 4 years old. I had this keyboard. Like, I think it was like I can't even say it was a fake keyboard. It was a kind of a legit thing. And I would just press buttons on there, and it would play this pre-recorded like track with like a drum loop and a melody. And eventually, I would just start moving the knobs around. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was 4 years old, but I would just eventually just move the knobs around, and it would have like a sound that I liked to it.
Yeah.
So I guess that was my kind of introduction, if you will. And then when I was probably about 6, I got a drum kit, and I wasn't really great with that. So my dad had a guitar, and he didn't really know how to play. Like, he knew a few things, but it wasn't, like spectacular. Like, oh my God, he was doing like Yngwie Malmsteen fucking.
Yeah, it was like the basic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But then I eventually learned how to play it, and one day, like, I had lessons at first. Like, at first, I was playing songs kind of just right off the rip. Like, the first song I learned how to play on guitar was "Sunshine of Your Love" by Cream. If you know that song.
I feel like I do, but I don't want to say I do.
You would have to listen to it.
Yeah.
And eventually, I had lessons, but the guy was kind of a dick, and eventually he stopped coming because I didn't want him to come back.
Yeah.
And I just kind of just figured it out by myself. Like, one day, like, you ever have like that feeling, like, as a musician, like, one day it just clicks, like, everything just clicks. So, like, I understood how to read music. I understood like basic notation and all that, but I still didn't understand anything about like theory or just like key changes. I still kind of don't, but I know I'd say I know enough for me to be able to do this now. So once I understood like keys and shit like that in songs, I was just like, whoa, like this is kind of it. Like, this is kind of what I needed to know. And after playing guitar for a few years at this local music thing, and like in my area, where it was just a bunch of other kids my age that was learning how to play like songs from like bands like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden, and really pretty much anything.
Yeah.
That eventually ended after a bit, and I just kind of didn't know where I wanted to go after that. I kind of thought like I was kind of done with music after that. Like, I would just live a regular life. But then one day, in 8th grade, I remember hearing "Wild for the Night" by A$AP Rocky, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" Like, it wasn't my preferred music at the time, but I was like, "Okay, this is like cool. Like, I can rock with this." Because it's like, as an 8th grader, like, you're always trying to get on to what's hot.
Yeah. At
that time, like, all about fitting in and all that shit. But anyway, in 2018, Rocky drops Testing, and you can say whatever you want about that album. Everybody either love it or hate it. But when my friend came to me and he goes, "Rocky just dropped this album. It's not good." I'm just like, "What do you mean it's not good?" Like, and I didn't know what I was talking about. Like, I didn't listen to Rocky at the time. So I put my headphones in, and the first song, Distorted Records, plays, and the melody is literally a distorted bass.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, this is insane. How is this bad? And that was I could say that's the first album I really fully listened to from front to back. And it was really something else to me. Like, it's all I would listen to for the next few months after that. After I graduated and I started college.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I went further down the rabbit hole and I got introduced to, like, the other members of, like, listening to the mob, like, and especially the producers, like Lord Fubu and ASAP Ant is probably one of my favorite duos, specifically because of how, like, wavy the beats are.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of wavy production, as you know, because I post snippets all the time. But eventually, you know, that started going on, and then I got introduced to Icy Twat, which is also one of my all-time favorite producers, because that man birthed a whole generation, I'd say, of underground producers, and he still doesn't get enough fucking credit to this day, and it pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna get his. He's gonna get his soon enough.
Yeah, for sure. I love Testing. It's one of my favorite Rocky projects for sure.
You listen to it?
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite of the years of that. It was what, 2018? You said
that year? Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites of that year. I still listen to it today. I listened to it
it's
like
underrated
a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, what song?
Whole thing.
Did you really?
Yeah, I just go back. I'll listen because I have Praise the Lord and ASAP Forever on like my playlist. And like whenever it comes on, I'm like, oh, I haven't listened to this in a while. So then I'll just go to the project and listen to the whole thing.
But yeah, you in my opinion, yeah, those two tracks are like the biggest songs off that album. But everything else off of it is just
it's great,
crazy to me.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like there's probably one song that I would usually skip, but other than that, it's great.
What's that?
There's probably like one song that I usually skip. But I mean, other than that, it's a great album.
Project,
yeah,
in my opinion, it's great.
Like it's not too out of there, but it's also not completely something we've heard before.
Oh, definitely.
It's like the perfect mix in between.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. It's just something that people just haven't done before.
Yeah, and like you said, your whole kind of the whole vibe is usually like wavy and stuff. So I feel like that whole vibe is just kind of underrated right now, just because a lot what you hear is either
it's not hot.
Yeah, it's not only it's not hot. It's just not too many people know how to make it a way that like it's kind of
there's a method
nice
to it, in my opinion. Yeah, but
go on.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
It's like I'm like when people.
Sorry, here I am, the ghost.
We should have put some lipstick or something so I know to see the movements.
Next time I'll have an LED helmet with eyes.
Hey, perfect. The evolution.
There you go.
It could be like the whole Spider-Man mask, just like with the eyes move and everything. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
But no, like whenever someone hits me, I was like, "Yo, send me something wavy." I'm like, I can, but I don't know, like it's just such like a broad term, but at the same
really
time,
vague.
super
it's
specific.
Really like, okay, wavy, but what kind of wavy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm like, it's wavy to me. I don't know if it's wavy to you.
Right.
So. But no, yeah, it's something. It's one of those things that you like, either know how to do it or you're just taking a long time to figure out.
Those are the first beats I really taught myself how to make, and then eventually I transitioned over to more aggressive, harder shit because that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, and talking about that, the whole transition, your whole rebrand.
Oh yeah. What's that?
Your whole rebrand. What was kind of like you know.
Okay, so Renegade. There's not a lot of stuff I can say about it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but all I really can say is it's it's a period of this brand of my brand at this point where it's just going to be more aggressive. It's just going to be, just in your face,
Mm-hmm.
really. Um, and I haven't really said what it exactly is, but I'm hoping to show you what it is before the end of this year. Because
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm kind of touching up one of the first little pieces of this whole thing, and it's pretty much done. It can drop at any time, pretty
Yeah.
much. So that's pretty much ready to go. And I also said on Twitter that because I'm also known for changing my profile picture every month.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be doing that this time. This is something that I kind of want to carry out for who knows how long.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I was going through whenever you tweeted out that we were recording. You tweeted it like backwards and what was it? It was upside
Yeah,
down.
it's some kind of font.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like looked at it, and at first I thought it was some Chinese person because I follow this Chinese guy, and he tweets out every now and then. He tweets out in Chinese, and
yeah.
I thought he was tweeting out something. I was like, "What does this say?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, I see it's your at." I'm like, "What is he saying?" And then I kind of look at it close. I'm like, "Oh!" And then I flip my phone around. I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is what it is." It caught me so off guard.
Cryptic messaging. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah, that's that shit, bro.
Yeah, and do you have like stuff planned that you want to make sure you hit, or is it just kind of whatever you're feeling at the moment? That's what's gonna go down.
It can. I mean, it depends. To be honest, it's a mix of that, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was brainstorming some stuff about it today, uh, but two things that I definitely want to have for it are before the end of this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's gonna be exciting. I
Yeah, man.
know.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. For next, like, is it like because you said it's something you can drop. Is it like you by yourself or with other people? If you can, like, say it.
I don't want to give it away.
That's fair. I know for me next year, this coming year, I definitely want to start dropping beat tapes and stuff like that.
Oh
Just
yeah,
cause, yeah, just cause I have so many like unused beats.
beat tapes are fun as fuck
Yeah.
because the first one that I dropped in October, um, it's called "What the Fuck, Tony." It was just an amalgamation of just beats I just have had, or just were kind of in the works, or
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube. And yeah, shameless plug, follow "What the Fuck, Tony" on YouTube for beats. But anyway, yeah, man, it was just an amalgamation of shit like that, and I just really had fun with it. It was pretty dope.
Yeah. And is that something you think like a lot of other producers should kind of like look into, just to kind of
You
expand their
could.
whole?
It's really up to you, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. I mean, a lot of people market themselves in really different ways. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to try to tap into every way that is possible. Um, like a lot of I don't even know where I heard this from, but somebody said like beat tapes are a horrible way to market yourself. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, no, that's a perfect way to get your name out there, especially if you're on like other platforms like Twitter or Instagram or
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. And you literally could just post your entire beat tape on YouTube if you've already have a small following there,
Yeah.
and it will just climb in views. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know Rose. You follow Rose, right?
Oh yeah, Rose, that's the homie.
Yeah. He put out a beat tape a week ago.
He's a little shit, but he's funny. No, I'm
Yeah.
playing.
He put about
That's
a
Rose.
beat tape out a week or so ago, and that's fire.
Yeah, bro.
It
Yeah,
was hard.
he went crazy on that shit.
I usually don't like beat tapes, like listen to them because they're usually just the same trap beat over and over again.
Yeah,
But Like whenever you do something like him and make it like a whole, it's basically an album just without the words.
But that's the other thing too. I also have to make a point of this. Shout out Gabe for the fucking art that he did on that tape. Holy shit!
Fire.
I don't know. Gabriel is crazy
Fire.
with that art, bro. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Bro, I was like, even when I looked at the cover, like Rose was geeking over the cover, and I'm just like, I looked at it, and I'm like, yo, like this is his best work yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
just like that whole like the hand drawn style is so cool. Like the whole hand drawn style and everything.
To be honest, yeah, I don't even know how he actually did it though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to ask him about that later.
It's crazy. It is.
But that shit was crazy.
Got to make like a top 10 list of art covers of the year. That one would be like
2 that would be fire.
Yeah,
that would be hard.
I know, because I know there's a few that are just crazy, and a lot of it is just like,
that's another thing.
Go on.
Art like covers for like albums and shit. That's always my favorite thing to look at because it gives you an insight as to what the project is going to be.
Yeah,
that's another important thing to mention when putting out music and shit like that. You have to make sure the cover art is the cover art does matter.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, it's one of those. I always say this: visuals are one of the most underused and underrated things in the whole music industry part.
Oh yes,
no one thinks about it anymore as much as they used, or no one just really kind of puts it at the top level. It's always, oh, you gotta make sure the songs are good, all this and this. Yeah, that's important, but if there's something pleasing to look at or is pleasing to watch, people are going to keep going right back to it, because not only will you hear the songs you like, but you also get to watch something that's cool as well.
The cover, and the covers and music, especially music videos too, they add to that replay value that a lot of albums need to have.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, when I listen to an album nowadays, especially if it's like a new album, unless it's an artist I really like, it's usually a one and done for me. Like there's music out there right now that I just like. I'll listen to it once and just be like, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
I just can't. Yeah, I don't know. Just I feel like the game needs something fresh. And who knows who it's going to be that finally brings it, but I'm just really hoping that it happens soon.
Yeah.
I don't like the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, you know how people rewatch Friends, rewatch The Office.
Oh, yeah.
If you make a video or a set of music videos good enough, people are going to just go back and rewatch it.
Oh, yeah.
It adds to that whole replay value, like you said.
It really does. It's important. Like, why do you think, like, what's a good album that's got really amazing replay value? Let's see. Okay, Flower Boy by Tyler. The art on that album is so just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's so good. It's just so like, it's literally a painting. And the production on it and just the whole sound that album has literally goes hand in hand with that cover.
Yeah.
That's one of my other favorite albums I've ever heard. Easily.
What do you think of his newest one?
I love it.
Really?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I remember when I first heard it, I was at work. I was like, I knew he had dropped, like, I knew he was dropping, but I was like, I'm going to put this off until I go to work the next day. And I just played the whole thing at work, and I was just vibing. Like, I was like, this is literally great. I was like, this is what Tyler needed to do. Because in my opinion, this is a hot take, I wasn't really a big fan of Igor. Because I just felt like a lot of things were kind of just missing. I don't know. And to me, that doesn't really have a lot of replay. As much as this new album does, especially because Tyler is rapping again. Like that's cool and all that Tyler like wants to sing and all this good and all this stuff, but he started out as a rapper, and he finally went back to that, and I was like, in a more evolved way, I'd say. because he was kind of like a critic saying like don't go back to like your old shit, but he kind of did. But it was still kind of like it was still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like I don't know, dude. It was like I love that album still.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. See, I liked Igor better than the newest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
First of all, I think his newest one was a little bit too long for my liking.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not gonna say it was too long. There's albums that I listen to that are way too long. It was just there wasn't anything in my opinion that like would keep me interested consistently. Like I like
Right.
all the songs are great songs. I like them, but it's like after like 3 songs, I'm like, all right, what's like what's the next thing that's gonna reel me back in?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I didn't really find much in it that's like reeling me back in after 2 or 3 songs like I did with Igor, because like with Igor you'd listen to like the first 10 seconds is just that whole just the saw wave,
Yes.
and then it switches and then the drums come in and then the drums leave and then it's like it's just there's so many changes there. It was just fast paced. And so like it just kept me like, okay, that's sick. Okay, that's cool. Okay, that's yeah.
Have you ever heard the theory that Igor, like the entire album, is like if you listen to it, like in a loop, like it literally is a loop album?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've heard that theory before, like where the what is it? The final note on that last song, "We Still Friends" or something like that. It's like on like an F note or something like that. Or no, like B flat or something like that. And then when you transition into the Igor theme in the beginning, it's literally like like an E flat note or something like that. It's a perfect loop. It's so weird.
It's the same thing with Circles by Mac Miller.
Oh shit!
The last note is, or the last chord on the last song is a little off for like the whole song, but
right
when you replay it with the first song, it fits perfectly.
That's that shit.
Yeah, because like the whole theme of it was like circles, going in circles or whatnot, and so like the album itself, you can just keep going in a whole circle listening to it.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was never a big Mac guy. I could never really get into him, but I'll have to listen to it.
No, like whenever, like I got into him a little bit before his passing, but once he passed, like it was I think a month or 2 later was when they announced and released Circles, and I was like, I gotta listen to this because this is his first and maybe last project that they'll ever put out of at least new music.
After he died.
Yeah. And then so I'm like, I have to listen to it, and then I loved it. And then I went back, I listened to Swimming, which I listened to a little bit, but it got overshadowed by Astroworld and
Right, that did drop on the same night.
Yeah. And there was another album that dropped that night too. I forgot what it was. But it got overshadowed. And so like I listened to it, but it wasn't like my main focus.
Right.
But then like when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, this is just great.
It's underrated is the word you're looking for.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's like whenever like those small little details in like those projects are just perfect.
Then I'll have to listen to it.
Oh yeah.
Again, I got so much more music to listen to. That's my assignment, I guess.
Yeah, I was checking out my Apple Replay thing, so like the Apple version of Spotify.
Oh, I did check that today.
And it was like you listen to like 1,500 new artists this year. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I was like, geez.
Yeah, you see, I don't think I saw that on my Apple Replay. I just saw how many like hours I spent listening to like this artist or these artists, or like the top 10 albums that I've listened to this year or something like that. Everybody's going crazy with the fucking Spotify Wrapped thing right now. Yeah. Or whatever it's called.
No, yeah, like it was mine was like 900 hours of music, and then
Jesus.
Yeah. And then like like my top artist was Kanye, which is like no surprise for me. And it was crazy because my albums of the year, my favorite albums of the year so far, or for at least this year's, were my top 3 most listened to albums.
Which were what?
Donda, Life of a Don, and then Melodic Blue.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Those, and they all dropped towards the end of the year too, which is crazy.
That is crazy. I'm again Donda. I like Donda. I think. I mean, I remember listening to the listening parties 3 times in a row because
Same.
what else was there to do? And every song just got crazier and crazier with each listening party, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Like, how is like Kanye is really doing this shit?" And when he finally dropped it, I was like, "Thank God that we finally have this," because it's just like you just can't get enough of it.
And I know, like, I know Donda was one of those, like, just, it was hit or miss for a lot of people. But
I remember reading a lot of people liked it.
they definitely did, but it wasn't like, oh, I feel like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's, you know, it was overhyped, it was this, it was that.
Yeah.
Which, I agree.
I mean, that's Kanye for you.
Definitely, but I also agree that it was, the whole rollout itself was crazy. One of the best rollouts.
It is one of the wildest rollouts I've
But at the same time, like, how much, you know, how exciting is it to get a new project when you've listened to it 3 times already? You know what I mean?
I mean, I get that.
So, like, for, like, the normal, like,
because, go ahead.
Like, the normal, you know, like, for us, or for people who, like Kanye, or, like, you know, appreciate that whole production, it's going to be great no matter what. But for, like, an average listener, they're like, oh, I heard this song 3 times already. When I hear it on, like, the final version, it's like, oh, I know all the words. I know how it's going to go. It's not like there's no surprise element that makes the album stand out.
Yeah, but again, I think what it was just that, like, you know, because Kanye is just, he always hypes everything up that he's doing and just doesn't drop it on time. But apparently he's been doing that since who the fuck knows when. But
yeah, it's like how it was.
But
it was, I think, Graduation didn't drop on time.
To finally have it. That's what it was.
Oh yeah,
definitely
was. And then, like, you know, I didn't even know it dropped until like 3 or 4 hours later, because it was like a Sunday at like 8 o'clock, and I was still asleep.
I know. I was up early that day, and then I saw that he dropped it, and I was just like, oh shit. It was just like, it was really unexpected.
Yeah. But no, yeah, those 3 albums definitely some of my favorite of the year, and I guess my Apple Music shows it too.
Oh yeah, dude, most def.
And then I have like 3 projects that I was like part of that are in my top 10 albums too, that I've been listening to. Yeah.
That's that.
My top song that I listened to this year was one that I produced, and I was like, I don't know how that happened, but. You know,
my beat tape ended up on the top 10 albums that I listened to on my Apple Music.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Hey, you got to support yourself.
I forgot which number it was, but it was just like hours ago that I checked that. Forgot about it, but yeah.
All right. Let's see. What time are we at? We at 38 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, that flew by.
Time flies when you're having fun, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Is there anything else you want to hit up before we roll this out?
Yeah. Most def. First of all, I know the audio on Spotify won't pick this up because we're doing the camera face-to-face thing. But shout out Ani, bro, the fucking goat who sent me the shirt. He's one of the reasons that I am really committed to doing this, because when COVID was going down, before COVID was going down, I had met him on a Discord server in 2019, and he was an aspiring graphic designer, and now he works for the tech department for A$AP Rocky's collective, which is
Jeez.
Yeah, bro. It was crazy to watch, like, his come up be very quick, because he was just very committed to it, and you know, watching his drive that he had inspired me to, like, actually do this, because I remember where I was when everything was announced that everything was getting shut down. I was in Florida for spring break, and I just got all these notifications that like my school was closing down and this was closing down, that was closing down. And my friend, Ani texted me, and he showed me something that he was doing for Complex.
Dang.
Through Gunna, Turbo, and Future's manager. And so I saw this shit, and I was like, bro, like I actually have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is too important now.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, bro.
That's crazy.
So yeah, he's an inspiration to me.
Yeah, shout out him, dog. That's crazy.
Ronnie's the GOAT, bro. For real.
It's clean too. The whole vibe they have over there is clean.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Anything
Check
else?
out his clothing line too.
Oh yeah, send me. I'm gonna need you to send me that link too.
Yeah. He's dropping a new. I'm gonna plug his stuff too. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. He's dropping a new clothing line that he's been promoting heavily. One of my beats with Hit Girl is on the promo for that.
Fire.
It's dropping December 5th. The new clothing line. So yeah, make sure to go check that shit out, bro.
Yes, sir. When does this go up? This goes up. This will be up by then, right? Yeah.
It'll be It's literally.
Yeah. We'll have
this. It's so funny because this will drop a day after that.
Yeah. We'll have the link down below and everything too. So hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's fire.
That's so fucking dope.
Yeah. All right.
Is this the part where you're gonna ask me 3 questions?
I got you. Yeah. You ready? Have you?
I'm ready.
You know the 3 questions already?
No.
No, you didn't get that far in the pseudo one. It's the same questions.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. You ready for the first one?
Yeah, bro.
If you could executive produce any project, who would it be?
This one's gonna be tough. This one's gonna be hard as shit. I don't know. Probably 90s trip hop group, Massive Attack, or any rapper that wants to work with something like that.
Yeah.
Really. Or maybe even Lucky, bro. Lucky's the GOAT. Lucky is like, I remember I was listening to his music 2 weeks ago. I was just listening to like pretty much almost every project, and I was just like, holy shit, bro. Like I had no idea that he was like this crazy, like this talented.
Yeah.
And he really, when people say he's the underground king, dude, it really is true because he has a sound that has inspired many of the artists that we listen to now. And I'm sure for years to come, dude. Like he's literally dropped a project with Filthy on December 3rd, bro.
That's gonna go crazy. 2 days.
It's gonna go crazy. I'm excited for it.
Yes, sir. There's so much like just good music out this year, just in general. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's really insane.
All right, second question. I still haven't figured out a great way to word this, but
Okay.
What is your favorite like region of music? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like worldwide, it doesn't have to be specific to the U.S. or anything.
That's the thing. It's like you can't. It's like to me, I can't really have a definitive answer to that because I just listen to a lot of shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, one of the coolest like things, like what I also used to do before I started making beats was kind of make vaporwave. If you know what vaporwave is. But that music has pretty much been archived and gone now, so nobody's going to find it. I'm kind of glad about that. But that's also kind of how I started getting into producing. And I would literally just make that shit like on literally my phone. I had GarageBand for the iOS, like the iOS app.
Yeah.
version of GarageBand. It's the shittiest thing on the planet in my opinion, but it was okay. But yeah, man, like stuff like Vaporwave is cool. That's again a direction I kind of would like to go in for this new Renegade thing. But again, at the same time, I got to figure out how I'm going to do that.
Yeah. All right. And then the last one is, what other advice do you have for any other producers, artists, anybody, you know, working up their way?
Make whatever it is you want to make. Like, just do not... just don't conform. That's literally what I want to say, is just don't conform. I remember reading something from, I think, some poppin' producer. He said, like, the beat that's literally sitting in your laptop right now could be the next wave 6 months from now. Yeah. And you wouldn't even know it. But you wouldn't know this unless you fucking just sent it out. Always send out your shit. And always make what you want to make, because that's how you develop a sound, and that's how you get people onto you.
Yeah.
You also need to learn how to build with other artists. Like, I get the whole chasing placements thing. Like, that's cool and all. People get lucky with that. People really put in the work to get those placements. But I think the most organic way to really do this is building with an artist. And if they work as hard as you, then it's really up, bro. Like, there's, like, look at Donovan and Tino.
Yeah. Crazy.
Bro, watching, like, I remember talking with Donovan, and he was just, like, telling me all this stuff. Like, he basically told you the same thing when he did this thing. And he was saying, like, all this crazy stuff about Tino, and I'm just like, bro, I had no fucking idea. Like, I was just like, damn, y'all really found him, like, at the perfect time. So, but that's another thing. Tino, call me, bro. I really, no, dead ass. Like, I have beats for you.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's crazy.
But yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's always a common theme, is to always make what you want and put everything out.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. It was
fun, man.
It's nice meeting you. You know.
Nice meeting you too.
Well, I guess, you know.
Face to
mask.
Yeah, face to mask.
But no, yeah, we appreciate it, for real.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Make sure. Definitely. Yep. Go on.
I would like to do this again sometime.
Oh, definitely. I've figured out, because a lot of people who I've done this with have hit me up like, yo, let me get back on. Let me do it again. So my plan is I need to at least have like 2 seasons before they come back.
Okay.
So like I have Drake coming back this season because he was season 1.
Who's coming back?
Drake Beats.
Oh yeah.
So because he was season 1, so I'm like, all right, it's been 3 seasons. Let me get him back. Just because, you know, it gives enough time for the person to, you know, grow and do stuff.
And evolve.
Yeah, and then it's also not like, oh, 1 season he was here, the next one he's here. Because as of right now, I don't have a strict, like, oh, it's 2 seasons a year or 3 seasons a year. So the schedule for this is kind of like a little still in the works. So it just gives me enough time to, like, discover new people. Yeah. But 2 seasons is the time in between before I bring people back.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so I guess it's what, season 4, season 6, season 7. Season 7 is what it would be.
Okay, then.
Yeah. But no, make sure y'all go check out Tony, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Anything else? Spotify?
Anywhere, really.
Anywhere? Is it all still What the Fuck Tony?
What the Fuck Tony is out now. It's been on all platforms for the last 2 months. So go peep that if you haven't listened to it. If you want to hop on one of my beats on that, feel free to hit me up. I don't charge for that shit because working for free, in my opinion, is pretty important until you get to really where you want to be.
Yes, sir. So make sure y'all go check them out. Everything, all links will be in the description below. If you're listening on Spotify, links will be in, I guess, the description still. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank y'all for listening and watching, and we will catch y'all next week. Peace.